Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Today, the topic I need to address is we are raising emotionally weak children. I'm seeing this every single day talking to parents. And it starts from young. I know everybody's busy. I know everybody's got jobs. A lot of couples have multiple jobs between the two of them. And I know that they're tired. But I have to be really honest with you. What I'm seeing is we are getting more and more dysfunctional as time goes on because of what we are not addressing or instilling in our children. I really believe that, but it comes from young. Addressing it's not okay when a children does something and it needs to be corrected. I remember when I had my daughter and she was about 3 years old. And she had a lot of toys. She was the first grandchild. And, just everybody didn't have kids back then. They were really, in my circle, they were all single. So they really doted on her. And she had so many toys, I think I could probably open up a toy store. I really do. But it was really important that we went through everything right before Christmas time. And I sat down with her and she understood a lot. She was 3, and that's what I tell parents. Don't think that they don't get things. They do. You just have to talk to them in the level that they're going to receive the messages. But I said to her, I said, Alex, you have so many toys, and there's a lot of toys you don't play with. Let's give them to kids that aren't as lucky as you are that have all these toys. And she just looked at me and she goes, well, why don't they have toys? And I said, sometimes maybe their parents don't have the money. There's a lot of reasons, but it would be nice to give to them. And it would make you feel better when you see somebody enjoying something that you gave. So she thought about it. And she says, okay. And she was really, and she's going through her stuff. And we went through all her toys and we literally had bags and bags that she was putting in. But one thing caught my attention. There was a favorite toy that she loved and she played literally every day with. And I was really shocked at this. She says, Mommy, I'm going to give this toy too. And I said, Alex, you love this toy. You always play with it. I know. She goes, but I'm getting more toys at Christmas. And I want somebody to play with it and be happy like I was happy. Wow. It blew me away when she said that. And I thought, good, she's getting it. She's getting it. And we took that toy and we went and we donated it. And literally we must have had 4 bags of her toys. And yeah, she was right. Christmas came, got more toys. But this became a twice-a-year ritual. And it was really important. But what I'm finding is it's very important to communicate with your child, yes, as young as 3 years old, because they're forming, they're getting older, their opinions, they're getting it. And it's up to us to lead them in a direction of thought. What I'm seeing is the communication is not there. The second thing is we as parents have to pay attention to what our children are liking and loving and what they're attracted to, so we can keep that passion inside them. Many times their passion will change what they like. Maybe today it's karate, maybe something it's gymnastics, maybe it's art, whatever it is, but we have to pay attention and we have to help them develop it. We have to help them develop the need to want something. I don't see that enough. Whenever we're fixing their problems, we're creating them, we're enablers. Many times I would sit and I would say to my daughter, what do you think you should do? Well, I don't know. That's why I'm coming to you, she would say. And I said, yeah, I know. I said, but, And I would kind of act stupid a little bit, like, God, I don't know. What do you think we should do? I was thinking maybe this, but then if I do this, da-da-da-da-da. But we got the communication and I was teaching her to think things through. What I've noticed is people and young adults don't know how to think things through. And developing that over time. Problem solving. This is why we have so much dysfunction. And when things don't go right, these young adults start pouting, they get angry. Stop getting angry and let's figure it out. Fast forward. My daughter now is 15 and homecoming. And we go shopping and she sees this dress that she absolutely loved. And she goes, Mom, I think I found the dress. I really want this dress for homecoming. And I looked at it. And now my daughter's 34. You do the math. It's quite some time ago. It was $250. And I'm looking at this. I'm like, $250? Are you kidding me for this? It was a pretty dress, but it wasn't worth $250. So I said to my daughter, I don't think I'm going to buy this right now. Oh, but it's not going to be there and da-da-da-da. And she's getting all mad. I said, no, I'm not spending this. So I started to think about this because when I was 15, I remember it was summer because my birthday's in the summer. And I remember coming upstairs and my mother looked at me and she goes, what's wrong? I go, I'm really bored. She says, you're bored? I said, yeah. There's nothing to do, I said to my mother. She goes, well, we'll fix that. She goes when it was the day of newspapers and to look. And she says, we'll get you a job. I go, but I'm only 15. She goes, well, we'll fix that. Back in the day when things were different. And she says, we will fix that. And she says, I will change how old you are so you can get a job. And she did. Back then, it was that way. My first job that my mother got me was going to Chicago Health Club, being an instructress. And I remember going through a 2-week training period. When my father would pick me up, I remember throwing up in the front lawn because I was exhausted. My body was killing me. And my dad actually felt bad, like, this job might be too much. And my mother goes, no, she'll be fine. You know what? Looking back, my mother was 100% right. It may have sounded so horrible, but she was grooming me. And I've always had a good work ethic because of my parents. It taught me anything that you want, you have to work hard for and to keep going. I'm very grateful to my parents for that. They gave me a gift. So fast forward now, my daughter wants this dress. So I thought about making an appointment to her counselor in high school. My daughter did get good grades. And I said, would you sign off for her to get a part-time job? And she looked at her grades and she goes, yeah. She says, I can do that with no problem. Alexandria gets great grades. I think she can handle it. So I said to her, you're going to go get a job and I want you to look for a job. Your counselor gave the okay. And if you want that job, I need you to work for it. You might even find a better dress. And she looked at me and she says, you really think I can do it? I said, yeah, I do. I said, you're smart. You're not lazy. I think it's time you work. And it's important that you show the balance. Going in on time, being responsible, doing things you don't like to do, maybe mopping up a floor, whatever. Her first job was at Jersey Mike's Subs. And I have to tell you, I was proud of her. Her father was proud of her. She did it. And she kept doing it. She started to realize the importance of money. And that was the key to where she started to get all these skills. She's now 34 years old. She's got her own business. She's doing great. But where did this come from? It was grooming. We as parents have to start doing this, but it comes from young. When I hear kids that are in their room all day just playing video games and they are completely disconnected from the world, it's because you let them get there. It comes from young. Keeping them important and engaged, helping them. My daughter is constantly giving back, but that came from when she was 3. This just doesn't suddenly happen. If you're a single parent, find a mentor, a Big Brothers association, something where it could help with your child. But just sitting there and just caving and letting them sit there and no passion, no nothing. And pretty soon they're grown up and they just don't care about anything. These are very interesting times that we live in. But some things still stay the same. The responsibility of raising your child. It's not all fun and games. It's very, very hard to have a child. I believe that. It doesn't matter if it's today's world, yesterday's world, 100 years ago. It's still hard. But you as a parent are going to be their first role model and teacher. And you have to. My husband always used to say, school needs to teach a course called life, not home economics to learn how to sew. And it's great, I'm not knocking that, but life, balancing your debit card, what you're spending, what you're going to do if you're on overdraft, what kind of a job are you going to get, problem solve, solution. All of that makes sense. But for a child that's never had that, don't get mad at them when they're in their 20s and they have no direction, because that came from a lack of what you did not put. And they need that. So you can't blame the child. You just can't. If you see that your child is suffering from depression, get it the help that it needs. And seriously, it really does. Make a deal with your child. If you want me to pay your cell phone, you need to do this. Make deals. I'll do this if you do this. Something that's important for them. If they play video games all day, take the subscription away. Until you do this, I promise you'll get this. Or if you want to play video games and you want the subscription, find a job, pay for it, figure it out. Parents aren't doing that. I'm noticing if kids don't get their way, they pout, they get angry. I'm noticing it in adults, political views. They pout, they scream. Listen, we're all individual, and I respect your way of thinking. I may not agree with it, but I respect it. But it comes with a certain maturity. And what I'm noticing is people are getting what they want and they don't care. And suddenly, if they hear something they don't agree with, they're taking matters in their own hands, or they are just being really horrible. Can't do that. Life is hard. We get dealt good things and we get dealt not so good things. But like I always say, God is watching us. It's not how we fall, it's how we pick ourselves up. How are we going to come up with a solution? There's a solution to everything, and maybe we may not like the solutions, but they are solutions all the same. But when I say we're raising emotionally weak children, think about what you're doing, how you're enabling them, and teach them to problem solve. I gave my daughter and my husband both so much love and still continue to do it. But I also make a big deal when, my husband and I, when we see our daughter accomplishing something, we not only say good job, we say why it's a good job. Because we're planting seeds in her mind. Even though she's even 34, I remind her every day of what she does well. When she's on a project and what came out of this project, what she did, we talk about it. And it's nice because when kids hear all of this, it gets their wheels spinning. So it isn't, oh, good job, and that's it. Why is it a good job? Talk about it. Talk about, hey, because you did this, did you ever think maybe down here, maybe think about more doing this? And my daughter will say, yeah, Mom, I'm thinking about that. I think I want to do more of that. And I think I want to do it like that. Gets her mind going. It's wonderful. Don't we all need to be challenged? If you're working in a corporation and you're in a meeting and you're thinking about things that what they can do to better something. You're working on a project. Hey, let's do this. Hey, and maybe we could do this. And then maybe we could spin it. And everybody's like, yeah, everyone's getting excited. We have to do this with our kids, young or adult. Everybody has to hear their self-worth and what's working and maybe not what's working. Things that just don't work, and maybe talk to them about it. But teaching them to think things through is vital. Because I'm telling you, one day you're not going to be here. And if you're constantly coming to the rescue, they're handicapped. And your job as a parent is not only to love them and to guide them, but it's to teach them. Hold them accountable. When they're wrong, they're wrong. I'm serious. When my daughter, I never embarrassed her in front of people, but when I got her home, I got her in the car. Oh, you betcha I told her what she did wrong. And she's not going to do this again. Oh, yes, I did. And you know what? It's important. They have to know when they fail. They have to know when they said something unkind to somebody. How are you going to fix it? What are you going to say? You got to teach them that they're not going to be able to please everybody. What do? Move on. It's different life choices, but help them through it so they can see it. Life is hard, but life can be grand. But when you have children, you're not just responsible for yourself. You're responsible for these human lives and how you help them really develop it and critical thinking. So it's food for thought. I'm noticing this more and more. Please think and how what you are doing is going to escalate to something else. So please remember that. I hope this helps you. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. But believe you me, you are the first teacher. Remember that, and it goes a long way. All right, take care. Have a very blessed week. Bye-bye.